morning, everybody, or evening or afternoon, wherever you're at. This is Julie from Soulbridge Holistics, and it's very early in the morning for me right now, so I'm still having my first cup of coffee. It's very soothing. By the way, coffee is actually good for you. It's an antioxidant, so feel free to have some while you're watching this video. Today I want to talk about why I make videos now and why I share what I know, and basically recognizing what my life path is all about. And everyone is born with unique gifts. I was born with natural gifts. I'm looking at my notes of intuition, sensitivity, and the ability to feel the state of others. If you felt like the ugly duckling growing up because you were always the one who is different, you're more hesitant, you're noticing things other people seem to be oblivious to, you hesitate to do foolish things when other people charge straight ahead. So the kids that are drinking beer in the park at night, the ones who think it's funny to go pull someone's mailbox up or throw used diapers in their yard, the kinds of pranks that people pull, I was hesitant to do that because I always felt like there's something about balancing energy and being in alignment with the environment around you that I took very seriously. So I think I was probably just a serious child. I wasn't a prankster, and I didn't do random things for no reason, just to take up space. I think I had a really purposeful childhood. I felt older than I really was. I think that's a key. The next reason would be being recognized by my tribe and finding like minds which help us grow. Comment below if you feel like what I'm saying resonates with you, if this is your tribe. Because if you're a healer, a medium, a sensitive, and intuitive, if you feel like working with energy is something you want to learn more about, if you feel like natural or holistic medicine appeals to you, or you want to build an apothecary of healing plants, if you have just a little bit of distrust for doctors because you think they don't always have the ability to put their best interests aside and their profits and actually focus on what is a real healing for you, a real cure for you, rather than just a Band-Aid or some kind of medication that keeps you coming back. Of course, I have to say, these are all my opinions. Everything here is my opinion, of course. I have a very educated opinion, but for legal purposes, educational and entertainment purposes only, always do your own research. Okay, it's my life path, and it's impossible to be somebody else. I've done security, I've worked with law enforcement, I've been in education, I've been a social worker, but it keeps coming back to this is what I know the most. This is what's natural to me, this is what I know the best. The next thing is my family finally recognizes and accepts the different sister. I think I was the pit of a lot of jokes growing up. Oh, she believes this, she believes that, she studies these things. You know, it's not as interesting as going to races and watching cars crash into each other, or getting the latest tattoo, or whatever. I think I tried to do purposeful things. So prepping and emergency supply building and apothecary, especially natural medicines, makes me feel like I'm in a state of readiness, that I'm ready for anything, and more than that, I'm ready to help others. I think that's been my calling, not in a hospital, not with other people, and not with a white lab coat on, but just kind of doing my own thing and being on standby in case I'm called, in case my daughter has another owie. She runs to me for Reiki every time she slips and sprains her ankle, hurts her pinky, even when she gets owies and pokes herself with something. She always comes to mom and says, heal me. She'll hold her arm up and say, it's right here and I hurt my elbow and heal me. And she just automatically assumes that I'll know what to do. And I do, but that kind of trust from family members now has extended to my sister saying, well, you've always been like this. And it gives me tears to be recognized because it's been a really long road. And my brother No, who's older and lost his wife, she's in spirit. Hi, Cindy. My brother recognizes that there's something to what I study also, that this work with spirits to bring them closer, that they are watching what we do and they're blessing us, that these things make a difference. And now that he's older, he actually feels that. And he calls me, for a humorous conversation and just to spend time together on the phone, which he never did as much when he was younger. But now, as my family ages also, they're recognizing that my skill set really did have something deep and meaningful to it, and they're discovering who is the real Julie. My family feels that maybe there's something to all this spirit talk. It's something else that in the 70s and 80s, it was kind of underground. Seth Speaks, working with mediums, energy healing. These were things that other people were always doing in indigenous cultures. So on my indigenous side, working around healers and people that read energy and talk to spirits is very, very normal. And in other cultures, when I saw the Tuareg and I work with indigenous people in Morocco, they're much more open to talking about spirits and energy and natural healing. And in fact, they were showing me some of their apothecary items and plants that are native to their areas. So the next one is that as people get older, values change. They're suddenly as serious as I always was, and my family members are in spirit now. My mom's in spirit, my dad's in spirit, my brother's in spirit, my sister-in-law and her daughter are in spirit. So I'm cutting to get a team on the other side. I'm team building in both worlds here. So that's why I call myself Soul Bridge, because I'm a team builder to connect both sides. And I think that as the family on the other side increases, I start to get more support for what I do. I start to get acknowledged that being able to communicate with that side has benefits, because as you're heading that direction, you really want to know what's going on. And I think now that family members are in spirit, they definitely have not have given up on making fun of me, let's put it that way. I have remained true to myself for decades, and I've refused to be taken lightly. I understand that people will joke about things they don't understand. I've always been really patient and understanding about that. I understand that. I've seen people laugh when they're in emergency rooms. They will laugh that they almost had an accident and died. People laugh inappropriately sometimes, and it's nervous laughter, and it's because they're trying to figure out how to put that into their belief system, and it's a little uncomfortable, and they don't want to acknowledge things like getting sick or people passing away. It gives people heebie-jeebies to talk about, especially younger people. But now that I'm getting older, and I've remained true to myself, what I'm saying continues to grow and continue to have significance. But other family members are finally catching on too. And you, my family out there, my tribe, this probably makes sense and resonates with you also. That maybe you were that different one, you wanted to be true to yourself, you felt you were being taken lightly. And we are not being taken lightly anymore, because now we have John Edwards, who's doing readings on TV, and we have Sylvia Brown, and we have, Seth Speaks is Jane Roberts really opened the door to mediumship and direct channeling, which I don't do. I don't let people channel through me. I don't let beings channel through me, but I pick up the messages and I relay the observations and the messages that I'm given. Family and other viewers who are embarrassed are starting to rethink why peer pressure was so important to them. And again, the idea of having to find your tribe. What is your tribe? Are those people really so important to you? And if they don't like you, or they make comments like they always did in high school or middle school, if they're the bullies, if they're pushy, if they have a limited view of the world, is their view that important to you? Are you willing to sacrifice your soul to please these people that you don't know? And that's peer pressure, which has had some really dangerous results. People drink things, eat things, go places they don't feel comfortable with, only to find out that their gut feeling, that intuitive hunch they had, was correct and they shouldn't have been there. Lucky for us, we also have spirit guides, so never forget to ask your spirit guides to intervene and help you get out of a situation. I've seen near-death experiencer videos, and also videos of people who connected with spirit to speak. And one girl says that the angel said the reason that serial killer walked past you and didn't look at you, when they interviewed him, he said, well, I perceived two very tall men walking on both sides of her as she went down the alleyway, and so I didn't approach her because of those. So those are either spirit guides or your angels manifesting the image of perceived humans, which they can do, just to thwart what would have been an attack. So they came in and found a way to protect her. And just to say, just for the record here, I wanted to say, when I was in 5th grade oceanography, let me get some coffee here. I was pulled out by a riptide and taken out into the ocean while the rest of my class was playing and doing their, wave and cloud measurements to fill out our worksheet for oceanography class. And I tried to do everything they told me to do: swim underneath the wave, try and go 10 feet to the right and come back up, and I'd be further out. And finally, when I felt like I was going numb and I was going to not make it anymore, I heard somebody say, "Do you need help?" And I recall nodding because I was exhausted and I was on my last breath, and something took my arms and threw them over the surfboard, paddled to shore and threw me on the sand. And I took a breath and got my strength up to look around to see who it was so that I could thank them, and there was nobody there. And I have since heard many stories of people who have encountered angelic beings this way, and I'm telling you, that was a near-death experience, and I do believe that I was rescued because of the mission that I'm on and the work that I do. Talking about these issues is more prevalent now, more common. It's more common to find mediums, healers, and energy workers. Just Googling Soulbridge, I thought nobody else would have Soulbridge Holistics, but I'm seeing lots of Soulbridge communities, Soulbridge tribes, Soulbridge. Interesting that other people are also using the word Soulbridge. I grew up lonely and few people liked me, so if you're a healer and intuitive and empath, if you're a person who sees the world from the view that I do, where you're always serious and you don't waste your time, I don't want those people to like me. I didn't want them to like me then, and I don't care if they like me now. I feel like the mission-driven work that I do is about healing a sick world and people who sell themselves short and people who deserve more. Underserved, vulnerable, at-risk populations deserve more. People who are overlooked, people who are underpaid, people who make a difference in the world. Just whatever you do, if you're sweeping the street, if you're making someone's food, if you're making a bed, whatever you're doing out there, I always try to recognize all those other people that make a company go. You're important. And people like me can be found anywhere. So you'd be surprised that the lady sitting next to the bus stop, next to you at the bus stop, might be somebody who's a healer. My weird life pattern started to make sense to me, and it came around full circle. I do believe that's the case now, that as I get older and I see more other people who are doing what I do, and I see that there are everything from tarot readers, astrologists, alternative medicine people, natural medicine, even keto practitioners. They have a mindset of let's heal the planet, let's heal each other, let's raise the vibration of the planet. The Schumann resonance is already going up. Time's going a little bit faster. You can feel that. Life becomes more purposeful. It becomes shorter. And it's more important now that you make your patterns make sense. Understand, look back at what you've been doing and ask yourself, what is my life path here? And if you don't know, start with astrology. And I mean deep astrology. Look up all your planets, put in the time that you were born, the place that you were born. You can do that online for free, and you can find out what your life path is. Your life path is shifting. What I do is more useful. I've always been really busy, and it's been something to find the free time to actually sit and make videos, but now is the time. And so why make videos now, and why share what I know now? Let's just say it's always been my calling, and I've always been a little bit private. I haven't bothered to step up to a camera and tell people what I know and share. But there's so many of you out there who need my voice, who need to feel that they're not alone, who need to feel that they can collect their tribe, their soul family. And so I guess I'm here for you, and comment below if that makes sense to you. Others are taking more interest and seeking me out for help. So I will be creating mini books on the topics such as what are the chakras and how do you do chakra balancing, things like that. I will make a whole collection of mini books. When I was a child, I was always fascinated by those tiny little mini books, right? And you could nicely put a topic in a mini book, and you can reach it for, oh yeah, I need to remember again how to do grounding and chakra balancing. I mean, that could be a book. So as I continue through the topics and I start to set up PayPal and create a shop where you can order readings from me or order materials from me, I will be doing that. That's going to be in the future, and this is basically still a developing channel, so it's always going to be growing. Technology makes distance healing, teaching, and learning more plausible. Hooray for the internet, because you're seeing me now and you could be in another country, and in a country where you don't have access to this kind of information. But I'm trying to put all of the phrases that I know are commonly used, like energy medicine, holistic healing, light workers, everything that I know that will be a word for a search engine to help you find this information. And I understand that others can present information, others might repeat bits of what I'm saying, because there are others who have similar life paths. But I also know that only I can present me and my content. And as an individual, I click with somebody, and I'm the one who does that, not somebody else. So if you resonate with me, if you resonate with my teaching methodology, my presentation, however unprofessional this may appear to be, more people are ascending and suddenly understanding these concepts than ever before. I think that's the last point that I wanted to make. More people are ascending as your vibration starts to thin. Remember I talked about Roy G. Biv and how it goes from coarser to finer? As your awareness starts to move up to these higher chakras, and you find that you are able to use that third eye right there in that fifth chakra, you open that third eye, that pineal gland, and you start to visualize connection to your higher chakra, that seventh chakra, and it connects you to the beings out there, the beings across the veil, those spirits who can bring you messages. When you start to connect to that information, then you have ascended. You're in fifth dimension now. You're not, you're not third dimensional anymore. We are aspiring to ascend right now, and we are in that process. And I think that that's another reason why I'm making these videos right now, because now is the time, and it matters what we're doing right now. The more, the merrier, right? All right, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notifications when I make new videos, and I'll see you again.